what's up everybody? It's Brad again, and today I'm going to bring you another lens review. This time we've got the RF 35mm f1.8 macro lens. This is for the new EOS R and the new RF mount. What I'm really hoping is to be able to use this lens to cover sort of a wide range of shooting topics, or subjects I should say, ranging from, you know, your sort of environmental type portrait all the way down to detail shots, ring shots, things like that, because it does have macro capability. Even though it's not true 1:1, I think it's 2:1, and realistically speaking, I don't think I ever go 1:1 when I'm shooting detail or ring shots anyway. So I'm really hoping that this lens will sort of cover sort of everything and take a couple of lenses and move them into one. All right, let's take a look inside the box and see what we get. Nice little box too. I like the RF packaging. A little nicer looking than some of the EF stuff. Documentation. A whole slew of bubble wrap here. Hopefully there's a lens buried somewhere in this thing. I think I found it. More wrapping. We've got the lens itself. And inside the box, we still have nothing. So no hood, anything like that. You get a lens, you get a front cap, a rear cap, some documentation, and enough bubble wrap to wrap an elephant with. All right, so initial thought here is that it feels light, but not too light. It actually, definitely plastic, for sure. The focusing ring turns very smoothly. It also has the control ring, which I think that honestly is what I'm most excited about. I've been adapting everything to the EOS R, all my EF lenses, and I think the control ring is probably the one feature that I'm most excited about on this entire lens. The front cap is a regular pinch style cap. So overall, build quality feels fine for the money. All right, so this is a stabilized lens, which is obviously gonna be good for macro stuff and really anything else. 35 is usually wide enough where you don't get a ton of camera movement in it, or camera shake rather, in good daylight. Now, if you're shooting at night, that's a whole different story. Any stabilization is always gonna be a benefit, so just having any at all is awesome in my opinion. I'm excited to get this thing out there and shoot with it. It'll just be a couple little sample shots around the yard, but I do want to check for chromatic aberration. I'm a stickler on that stuff. When I'm gonna pay several $100s for a lens, I get that it's gonna have chromatic aberration in a lot of cases. Hey there. But I don't want it to be green and magenta all over my photo. And I think I'm a little bit spoiled by the Sigma 7200 that I just did that had essentially zero aberration at all. Now this is the only one of the new RF mount so far that's not an L designation. So the optical quality, I'm thinking, will probably be a little bit lower, but who knows? We'll see. I'm gonna go mount this thing up, take some pictures, and then we'll come back right here at the desk and open them up on Lightroom, just raw files, and see how they look. All right, so back inside after taking the pictures with the 35, and I just wanted to go over them with you here and see what they look like. So, all right, so I've got them all pulled into Lightroom, and let's just start here and take a look. These are all raw, as shot, no correction, no anything done to them. This is at 35mm f1.8, ISO 100 outside. I mean, it's a picture. Looks to be very sharp, so that's a plus, obviously. At 3:1, it's still even decent. Okay, so it's a moderate picture. I don't love the background. I mean, it's out of focus, but it's out of focus. It's not, you know, I wouldn't call it pretty, or it's just kind of is what it is. But okay, that's all right. Let's keep on rolling here. Here's another one of my obviously overly impressed daughter. Now that's a sharp photo. That looks really good. And again, this is at 1.8, ISO 100. Good looking photo. Oh, you got a whole lot of fringing here, which with a macro lens does tend to fringe quite a bit. But You usually see it when you're shooting more macro. But that is, it's there. It's definitely noticeable. It's there. It looks to be along the entire roof, and it goes down to purple here. It actually transitions from like purple to green. So, okay, well, that's all right. Here's our lovely bird feeder. This is with the sun directly behind it. So this is where I was actually trying to test for some chromatic aberration. Probably not the best subject since the bird feeder itself is green, so it may give a green cast anyway. So let's see. Naked eye looks fine. And okay, so we definitely have some more magenta. Purple fringing there. This here, I believe, is fringing. I don't think that's color cast. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Look here. 3-to-1. Boy, that is not good. And it's as purple as it gets right there. And again, these aren't macro shots. This is me standing back a few feet and taking a picture upward. You know, a macro, yeah, this is, oof. All right. Here's our friend, the hummingbird feeder, as we saw in the last video. Let's see how this guy looks. Let's go out of 3-to-1. Let's go to 2 to, whoa. Okay, so the entire, looks like the entire flower etching here is purple. So that's not good. The house, the roof line there is okay, so that's a plus. We're moving in the right direction. But this here on the flower itself that's a bit concerning. The sharpness is great though. I mean, this is a little out of focus. It looks like it actually pulled focus further back along the edge here. So being that this is shot at 1.8, I would expect this front element of the hummingbird feeder to be slightly out of focus due to how thin the depth of field is. So this one's not terrible. Here's another, I have no idea why I shot this twice. This is very sharp. Now the etching's very sharp. However, it's totally purple again, and it's totally purple over here on this side. And then you've got this entire roof line now has a green tint to it, along with the whole side of the feeder. I gotta admit, I'm a little bit unhappy with this. This one here, I was just trying to show how thin the depth of field is at macro, and this, I believe, is at the closest focus distance. But let's just take a peek. 1-to-1 here. Okay. Okay. Look at this. This entire thing is green. You see all this in here? Even in the out of focus areas, there's like all kinds of green. Look right here, out here, here. Wow, this is really bad. However, we have software to correct these things. So maybe we just take a peek, hit the button. Hopefully like the Sigma, when it did show chromatic aberration, it went away just with a push of a button. And we're not so lucky. It is still there. All right, this is the top of this little bird cage. It's just an antique bird cage. I think we found it at a yard sale somewhere. This is just the top of that bird cage. This is shot at the closest focus distance at 1.8. I mean, nobody's gonna shoot actual macro like that. I totally get it. I totally get that. You're gonna shoot, if you're shooting this lens to shoot macro, you're likely gonna be shooting it at f11, f16, because you're gonna need that depth of field, because a macro lens naturally is gonna just give you nothing for depth of field. This is surprisingly okay. There's not really any, I don't really see, it looks like it may be trying to get a little bit of a purple hue here, but not bad. What is this? Okay. Oh, wow. Okay, so check this out. Look at this whole entire line. Back here, this green. All of this in these crevices. All of that. That bird cage is not green right there. it is more this color, but that is blatantly like neon green. And you can see it there. That's definitely, holy moly. Yeah, and you can see it all the way around the edge here too. Okay, interesting. All right then, let's look at f11. It's still so shallow. And again, this is at the closest focusing distance. So let's look at these green spots and make sure I'm not lying to you here. Okay, no. See, that's more natural. Okay, all right, moving along. Whoa, what is this? Okay, oh, okay. So this is taken directly into the sun. The bird topper there is actually blocking out the sun. This should be a case where the aberration is the absolute worst for the lens. From here, I can already see, just without even zooming in, I can see that these things have definitely got some color cast on them. Yeah, I'd say so. Okay then. Look at this. It's like the actual bars of the cage are green and purple. Holy moly, that is not good. I mean, look at that. That is solid green. There's no fixing that. I mean, what happens if we click remove chromatic aberration? Nothing at all. So let's just try it. I'm sure it's gonna desaturate that bar, and then there was a bad one up here. Trying to find a really bright one. There we go. Okay, so it went away a little bit. I mean, but do I have to go here on every single one of these things and click? Because look, I got more green back here. I got more green here. Yeah, it's I did not want to be disappointed in this lens. I really wanted to love it. Look at that. Look at that. What is even happening? See, this up here looks fine at 1:1. I mean, it's definitely got some green around the edge. But what is this? I promise you, those are not green and purple. Wow. Okay, and look, even zoomed out, it shows. That's the problem that I have. If you zoom out of a photo and you can't see, and I'm getting overly nitpicky because this one here is just so bad, but if you zoom out of a photo and there's no cast happening or something like that, then okay, so you know what, so be it. There may be a little bit of chromatic aberration, whatever. You know, the lenses have had them forever, and they're only getting better and better, but I was just really hoping that this being an RF lens, a brand new technology, I was really hoping that this was going to perform very well, but this is disgusting. This is another one. I think I shot this one for the sake, the sun is up high here in the sky, so I'm not shooting into the sun, I'm shooting down. So in theory it should be a little less, but lo and behold, our purple and green friends have come to revisit. Man, that's unfortunate. I don't even know if I need to squeeze through the rest of these. Okay, here we go. The macro part of this lens is a part of the lens that I haven't seen a lot of reviewers talking about. But it was really actually the aspect that drew me the most to this lens was the macro capability. Because 35mm is not exactly the standard field of view that you see on macro lenses. So I thought it might give something different. Just from looking on the back of the viewfinder as I was taking these, I actually really liked it. You can see that the out of focus area is really pretty when you're up close. You know, not so much for portrait length or anything like that, but up close it's got a really nice creamy out of focus area. This is at 1.8, which again, if you're shooting macro, you're not gonna be shooting 1.8 in most cases anyway. But what I was hoping is that I could cover ring shots with this because I never ever go 1:1 on my ring shots. This is actually a pretty, oh boy. This is actually a pretty cool image though, albeit super shallow depth of field. I wouldn't shoot this ring shot like this anyway. But even here, look. Got purple, we got green back here. I should point out, the chromatic aberration goes away as you stop down. So, and that's gonna be on any lens. Pretty much wide open is where you're gonna see it, but a lot of people, you know, the whole point in getting a large aperture lens a lot of times is so you can shoot it at large aperture, so, or at max aperture. So I do want to point these things out, even though I'm getting a little more nitpicky than I probably should. But as a macro lens, I think, let's look at it here. So this is 5.6. That's a pretty cool field of view. So you got some wide here. It's not super telephoto with no angle of view at all. It's actually, that's a pretty pleasing macro shot. And you can see here too, it's definitely picking up the detail. By 5.6, I mean, the aberration's gone. You know, there's nothing there. You can see all the little scratches in my ring here. All right, so overall, I think for the macro purpose, it does a very good job. I actually quite like it, and I quite like this view where I've got some of the background. This 35 is actually pretty cool. I quite like it. Keeping the ring still big in the frame, but yet having some depth in the photo too. I think that's pretty cool. So this is at 5.6. I think I shot another one. Here's f8. Okay, so this is even cooler. This is probably where I would shoot this photo if it was me out and about. But you can see even all the little detail here right on the lip of the ring. I mean, that's really nice. That's a pleasing photo. You know, we can go in here and play with the contrast a little bit. Play with the, you know, you guys don't care about this stuff. Maybe a little dehaze to get some color in it. That's a good looking photo. I think this lens does do very well in the macro side of it, even though it's not a true macro lens. I think it's going to do a better job in that department than it's going to do in the portrait department. Because I just was not very happy with the portraits. I think it looked like a smartphone photo almost. So that's just me. I don't know, you guys might think something else. Here's another one that's just, it's okay. I mean, the out of focus area just doesn't look overly appealing to me. This is at 1.8. You know, this should in theory have the most blurry out of focus background. It's a little ugly. Here's another one shot at 1.8. It looks like I feel like I could have taken that on my iPhone. So I was trying to get the spray of the actual chalk there, but obviously I missed that focus. What are you gonna do? In conclusion, I'm pretty disappointed. It's only a $499 lens, so it's one of those things that since it is an RF lens, if you've got the EOS R and you want a native lens that can shoot macro, or at least close to, if you don't care about 1:1, like I don't really care if I get 1:1 macro on a ring shot or on a detail shot of a wedding cake. However though, if you want to get some really nice detail shots with some sharpness, it's an incredible lens. I think it's going to be very, very good for that purpose. If you want to get this lens as an all-purpose, all-around, take pictures of everything and keep one lens on your camera, I don't think you're going to love it as much. I think you'd do better off to have a 35mm 1.4 or a 35 1.2 and have a dedicated macro lens, which is unfortunate because like I said, I wanted it to compact those two into one. So I think I'll be hanging on to my 35 1.4. I think I will likely be returning this one because I just don't see myself using it if I can't use it for all purpose. I think it's fine. I think it's a fine lens, but honestly, the chromatic aberration kills it for me. I like to shoot wide open a lot of times. I understand stopping down is going to give you more sharpness in a lot of cases, but I mean, why have a lens that goes to 1.8 if you can't shoot it at 1.8, especially for low light situations? All right, so thanks for watching, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. I've been talking way too long. If you liked the video, please do like and subscribe. I will be having more of these types of videos coming soon with all kinds of different things, from $20 digital remote timers to a Pluto trigger, which is a pretty cool deal on the market that not a whole lot of people I've seen talk about. I've got reviews for those coming. I'll be giving my everyday photographer view of the 50mm 1.2 RF lens. So keep in touch, keep an eye on the channel, and join me in the next one.